We're waiting. We're streaming, but we're waiting because nothing's. There we go. Going live now. Hey guys, welcome to another Complete Developer Raw, a live show with Will and BJ. Hey there, we are. How you guys doing this week? I don't know if you guys can see behind me. There's a bit of a mess. Not really a mess, just a lot of boxes. I've been cleaning out my garage. If you follow me on social media, I'm sure you saw some of the pictures I posted on Insta about, it's really nice. I got the back half of my garage cleaned out, so it's pretty sweet. I'm able to like actually get my bike in over to the side. It's not right up next to my washer and dryer. There's room to walk around in there. It is quite nice. In other really awesome news, I got this really cool sticker. It's a little blurry. There we go. From my friend Alicia. She is an artist and she's started an Etsy shop and an email list. And for signing up to be on her email list, you got a sticker, and I got to pick the one that I wanted. And of the ones she had, that's my favorite. So, anyways, yeah, if you follow me on social media, I have shared a bunch of her stuff because she's really an amazing artist, one of my favorite artists, and it's really cool that I also get to be friends with her. That's awesome. So Memorial Day is coming up on Monday, and I'm doing my, I guess, typical Memorial Day thing the last few years of going to Renaissance Festival. Um, and This year, again, I think I did it a few years back. Will was there the last time I did this, but this year I'm taking another friend who has never been to a Renaissance Festival. Can you guess, Will, the one thing that he wants to do?
Probably eat a turkey leg.
Right. That's it exactly. He wants to eat a turkey leg and see the jousting. So, what's going on with you?
Man, I've been really busy with work, and with everything else going on. I finished my book edits Saturday night at like 10 o'clock. So the last chapter is thrown over the wall. Hopefully the editors will not see fit to throw it back.
Nice.
Um, yeah. So I did I did that and my homework in my Russian class back to back, and that's getting a little nasty.
Yeah.
Um, I'm enjoying it. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, other than that, I've been trying to get stuff done this week for work because I'm not going to be at the office tomorrow. Due to some family stuff. So I'm trying to get everything done in 4 days that I would normally do in five for other people.
Mm-hmm.
So like I have my normal workload, and then I have to get ahead of the game on some other things. And so yeah, I haven't had a break yet. Um, about 10 minutes before we started live streaming, my Steam download of Skyrim completed. So if you want to know what I'm going to be doing, yeah, that's what's
Oh,
going to be happening.
so one thing I didn't mention, the other day, I saw that there was a sale, on Minecraft on Switch, and I'm like, man, I haven't played Minecraft since I got my Switch because I played it. I'm a console gamer, y'all. I don't get on my computer to play games often, but I haven't played it since I got the Switch because I haven't played my Xbox hardly at all. But I went ahead and bought it for the Switch. So at some point, when my life calms down some, I will get to play Minecraft. I might have to wait until, like I'm on the bus riding to work.
Yeah.
But I will get to play Minecraft again. That is exciting.
I
So
mean, I'm at the point where I have to deliberately say, okay, I'm playing this game like I schedule it.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
podcast update. I will be sending out another batch of water bottles Probably next week. It'll either be next week or the following. Sort of depends on next week's a short week for me because of Memorial Day. So if I get overloaded with work, it may be the following Monday. But I do want to say if we've read your name on an episode and you haven't sent me your address, do so by Wednesday of next week to guarantee that you get your water bottle in this batch. Guys, if you didn't get your water bottle but you sent me your address, I might have misplaced it or something. So it'll probably be coming out in this batch. I'm going to do like an extra deep search of my email and of everything, of Twitter and all that to make sure I catch everyone with this batch of water bottles coming out. So that's pretty much it for the podcast. Let's go ahead and jump into our first question.
Okay, the first question is, if the average programmer is writing less than 50 lines of code per day, what does the rest of their workday consist of? I'm not real sure where they got this 50 lines a day thing from.
I got this question from Cora.
I'm just thinking about like my day to day and every day. Now, I could say this. There are some days that it is less than 50 lines of code net.
Mm-hmm.
So I might have written 1,000 lines of code, but I deleted, 980 of them or something, or
dude,
980 lines somewhere else.
I've had days where I spent all day working hard and ended up with 2 lines of code.
Yeah.
For the day.
Like you just keep refactoring and keep cleaning stuff up and keep having to revisit stuff. So a lot of it's not that they just wrote 50 lines of code. It's like that was their total output. That's the diff that you saw, because that's probably how they're gathering those stats is off of like source control commits. And so I would question where that comes from. Now, the other thing in the mix here is if the programmer's writing less than 50 lines of code in a day, they're probably attending meetings. They've got all kinds of agile stuff, especially if they're in like a fragile agile shop. Yeah. So that's probably chewing up lots of time. There's a lot of developers that frankly don't work very hard. And so that could be a thing. They might be managing other people. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that could be in the mix. They could be doing graphic design.
No, the thing is, this says average. So, I mean, that's, like you said, that's taking into account meetings and managing and stuff like that, and training days. Also, it's taking into account bug fix days where you may spend all day long looking through the code and only change a few characters on one line.
Yeah. I mean, the first, 4 or 5 hours of my day today were chewed up just writing like a couple of little SQL functions and fixing one stored procedure.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was all volume. So, I mean, it can definitely happen. Like if I'd had a couple of meetings today, I might not have been much over 50 lines.
Yeah, I can see that. Moving on to the next question. This one is not a coding question. I am 26 and have a non-existent social circle. What can I do to change that? So I don't know how this popped up on Quora for me, but it did. And so I was like, this would be a great question for me to answer. Not that I have non-existent social circle, but I have walked into different places. I like to move around a bit. So I have walked into places where I knew no one. So on this, there's a couple of different things that you can do here. It sort of depends on your situation. I mean, if you've just taken a new job and you've moved to a new area, that's one situation. If you just got out of school and your friends have moved away, that's a different situation. It is a little bit dependent on your situation, but what I'm going to say here is the way to make friends is to be a friend. The way to build your social circle is to get out there and meet people. So one of the great things, especially if you live in or near a metropolitan area, is meetup.com. They're not paying me to say this, but so Will and I use it for some of our groups that we run. It is a great place to go out and meet people. I'm in several groups that are not programming related, and a lot of them that are. But I have made friends through that. I have found hobbies that I really like through that. That's the other thing. What do you enjoy doing? If it's a hobby that you enjoy, then you can probably find a meetup for it. If not, you can create one and people will come to you. If you're on the shyer, more introverted side of things, in that case, I would say take it slow. So go to something already in existence. So find a group or something that already exists and go to them, and maybe meet one or two people there, and start it that way. We actually have a couple of episodes coming up. They're in our backlog. One is about building your tribe and getting the type of people around you that you want, that are going to help you grow and that you can help. And then another one is very much addressed towards this question, which is, how to make friends, how to go out and meet people. So those are in the backlog. They're coming up. So be on the lookout for those if this is something that does concern you. It's something that a lot of people, especially the older we get, this question came from someone that was 26, but you get up into your 30s and it's even harder. I know I make friends really easily. Like I go places and I do. Some people are not that way. A lot of people have trouble making friends when they get out of college. It's like that when you're not in, you don't have as much free time. You're not in that, we all have to kind of be here thing. Uh, then it's a lot harder to go out and meet people. And it's harder to find things that you enjoy doing. In college is the time to experiment and learn the things you enjoy doing. But really, guys, you can do that throughout your life. I'm in my 30s and am just now discovering that I love playing guitar. I'm not very good at it. I'm actually quite terrible at it, but I love doing it and I have a lot of fun with it. So, just if you want to meet people, you got to put yourself out there. That's the secret to it. So, moving on to question 3.
All right. So, question 3 is, how do senior software developers feel when a junior is quickly becoming better than them? I think there's a few pieces to this question that we need to unpack before we can actually answer it. First of all, there's two different kinds of senior software developers. There are senior software developers who've been doing stuff a long time and they are continually learning. And those people, if they even notice that the junior dev is catching up to them, they're happy about it,
Mm-hmm.
because they need all the help they can get. Because a lot of times you're the only competent one in the room if you're one of those people. If they are the senior software developer who's had the same year of experience 10 years in a row, they feel threatened, and rightfully so, because they are an expensive resource. They can't really deliver on what they're getting paid, and the junior developer can deliver on it cheaper than they can.
Yeah.
And so those people will be obnoxious and snarky towards the junior dev. So that's point one. I want to bring out the mix. The second thing is when a junior is quickly becoming better than them. Let's talk about a few things in the mix here. The first is yes, juniors have a very, very sharp upward skill curve at some point in their career. Everybody does it if they stick around long enough. And the thing about that skill curve is it flattens out at some point. So as a junior, don't assume that, okay, I got half as good as them in a year, so next year I'm going to pass them.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. Like it'll smooth off. The other thing that a senior dev often brings to the table is a lot of experience, and it can be experience with weird edge cases in the technology, weird stuff in the operating system, navigating office politics, um, all the other kind of stuff in there. So better, you got to be careful about the definition of better in that context. Now, that's not to say that I don't know some very, very good junior devs. I have one that works with me who is extremely sharp,
Mm-hmm.
and he's growing a lot. I will say that there are things that I think he does better than I do, and there's stuff that I do better than him. And what we do is we collaborate.
Yeah. That's what I
And
was going to say too is, it may be that they are growing in an area that the senior developer may not be putting effort into either.
yeah, I don't do mobile development.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So,
I mean that's another thing I've noticed like where I work, I do some Angular, but uh the last couple of years I've pretty much been on the .NET side of things and haven't done very much Angular. A little bit here and there, but that's about it. Tried to keep up with it as much as I could, but I've watched Dave, who I had been there for about a year or so when he started his first job working with me, and I've watched him grow as an Angular developer, and definitely surpass me. Not that I'm a senior developer or anything, but I've watched him surpass me, and I'm like, that's really awesome. Like he showed me some stuff that he's been working on when we were in the office yesterday. That's just like, wow, man, that's amazing. And so it's really cool, and it's really exciting when you get to see people grow, especially like you said, when you're the type that is continuing to learn, and you
yeah,
see those people that you have helped in the past and you have guided grow and grow beyond you in a certain area where they've put their focus and you haven't put your focus. It's just amazing, and it's a wonderful feeling,
yeah,
to be
or they
honest.
just do stuff that in an area that you know well, but they do it in a way that's different than you, and you can go look at it and go, okay, what can we
Yeah.
learn from each other on this?
Yeah, that's
My
really cool too.
our junior dev, he built a little program to go out and audit, payment transactions, and it's like full on multi-threaded. I mean, it's really slick, and for a
Hmm.
junior dev, that's a tall order. I kind of think he's probably past the point of being a junior dev anyway, um, at this point.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to have that discussion with him, about why he made certain choices, and kind of go back and forth on that. Like if you are a smart senior dev, you learn from the juniors.
Hmm. That's smart.
Yeah, it's more
Well,
inputs.
I realized what I said after I said it.
Yeah, I was just gonna let that go.
All right, y'all. If you haven't listened to it already, check out this week's episode. Um, it's a really awesome one. We had a great guest on. Next week, we've got a wonderful episode coming out about overcoming social anxiety. A lot of times we allow fear of social situations to control us, be it public speaking, going to an event where you don't know anyone, or just going out after work. We all have some places where we're anxious in social settings. I mean, going back to our second question, this is really going to address that. So if you're concerned about a non-existent social circle, check out this episode. It can help you out. Even for the more outgoing and extroverted of us, there are times when social fears and anxieties cause us to avoid interactions that otherwise would be to our benefit. In the episode, we take a look at social anxiety, mostly the non clinical version that we all kind of face from time to time. And we start by defining what it is, and then we discuss several things that you can do to help reduce or remove it from your life. Now, I do want to emphasize something that Will and I both emphasized in the episode, and that is if you experience social anxiety to the point that it is crippling you or to the point that you cannot function normally, please seek professional help. We are not professional psychologists. We don't claim to be. What we talk about is more the non-clinical side of this. So check that out. It's going to be a really awesome episode. I think you guys are going to love. We're going to hop off here and record a couple more really great episodes. Will and I both wrote one this week, so we got a long night ahead of us of recording. So we're going to go, and we will talk to y'all next time. Oh, yeah, we are going to have yeah, we're going to record next week. I want to make sure. Got to keep up with my calendar here. But yeah, so we will see you guys next week.